everybody, I'm Michelle with Mama's Weeds, and today we're going to do a little spring cleaning and getting our flower beds all ready for the summer. So first thing we're going to start off is some tips on your bulbs. So as your daffodils and your tulips bloom, then you do not want to cut them back. When they start getting spent like this is the greens are actually what feeds the bulbs for next year's flowers. So if you chop them down, tempting as it might be, you're not going to have near as many flowers. So it's a good idea to just leave them until they start turning yellow. And I plant like Shasta daisies in front of them, so these will fill in and hide them before long. But don't cut your hyacinths, your tulips, your daffodils. Don't cut any of those. Another thing I want to point out is bees and pollinators. In the south, it's a good idea not to mow your grass until about April 15th, because all these weeds, which are technically wildflowers, those are early pollinators for your bees. So 1 out of every 3 bites of food that you put in your mouth comes from a bee. So without them, you won't have vegetables, you won't have fruit, you really won't even have meat, because that feeds off of the vegetation. So save all your early blooms as long as you can. We do cut a little bit of our grass in the areas that we walk, but we try to keep as many as we can until April 15th. So now we're going to get started on the flower beds. I'm going to kind of show you how to cut back your perennials, weed your beds. You're going to fertilize, you're going to mulch, and then we'll fill in with a little bit of annuals, because perennials are good. They come back every year and get bigger and better, but the annuals give you a really good pop of color. So we're going to kind of add some of those in too. So come on and join me, and we'll start in the big flower bed. Okay, the first thing you want to do before you get started is get everything, all your tools together. So first thing is your snippers. Need a little digger. This right here, I love. This is really good for Bermuda grass, roots. It just digs right in. Then another thing I would recommend is, this is a mulch rake or mulch fork. So you think the mulch would fall through, but it really doesn't. So if you get a truckload of mulch, you just scoop it. You can scatter it a little bit over the thin areas. You can put it heavy. It's lightweight, good for a little old lady gardening. And then another thing is a shrub rake, which is also a mulch rake. See how it's small, so you can like get up under bushes, but it's tough enough that you can kind of manipulate the mulch and kick it around where you need. It doesn't beat your plants to death, but I'll demonstrate it in a little bit. Another thing I highly recommend is Osmocote. It's slow release, so it won't burn your new plants, and it just releases throughout the summer. Once you treat your spring beds before you mulch, that's pretty much all you have to do. I do sometimes squirt a little Miracle Grow, and this is just a Parmesan cheese shaker, but it really makes it easy to spread your Osmocote. You just fill it up and sprinkle it wherever you need it. Now in our beds we have perennials, but we also have gaps. So you'll kind of want to get some annuals for your pops of color, just to give you long-lasting color. These are little profusion zinnias, which are drought tolerant. They can take the heat. You really don't have to water. They just make a real low maintenance plant. These grow into like a little 12, 18 inch little shrub. So I'm going to mass plant them all in the beds. Like I said, they're really good for the south. All right, let's get started. Oh, and a bucket to throw all your weeds in. I just throw them all in here. It's easy, and then I dump them on my compost and keep on moving. All right, let's get started.